Hi, everybody, and good morning. And firstly, I'd like to say I'm very sorry if any of you had any problems getting the Zoom link. For some reason, my database was playing up. I've actually got a tech person coming in this afternoon to look at it. So I know some of you got it on Facebook or some of you have messaged me. But anyway, it's great that, so many of you are here. So thank you for that. Just a few things before we start, the usual things, which are, please remember you don't need to keep looking at the screen if you find screens tiring, and do whatever feels necessary to look after yourself in our session. As always, everything's going to be very gentle, very, kind of non-triggering and soothing, but I'm not in your body. And if you feel you need to rest out and just lie down, you do that because that's what's good for you and that's what's healing for you. So with that said, I invite you to come to a comfortable sitting position. Bearing in mind, we won't be sitting for too long, we'll then come down to lying. But as always, if you are feeling very fatigued and you need to lie down straight away, of course, that's an example of something you need to do to take care of yourself. So you decide how you want to be. And what we're going to look at this morning is our nervous system reset and how we can bring our nervous system back into balance. Now, I could say that, in a yoga session, we are always aiming to do that, but I'd just like to give a bit of background to it, a bit of yogic philosophy as well, but also for us to be aware of how the nervous system works. Because sometimes we might think, oh, I'm really stressed or I'm really exhausted, but we're not exactly sure what's going on in our body. And it can be really helpful just to have a sense of that. So in our nervous system, we have three modes. Now, you might know this bit already. So we have sympathetic nervous system, which is when we're activated and we're in fight and flight or feeling stressed. And for many of us, especially these days, we are often chronically, so just below our conscious level, we are slightly activated a lot of the time. That's not too good for the body. It puts stress on all of our systems, and that's something we want to come out of. And in a minute, I'm going to explain the Vedic thesis of this using the model of the gunas. But so that's sympathetic, that's chronic activated state. The second nervous system state is when the parasympathetics come in, and we often call this the rest and digest. But it's not always, sometimes we get too disassociated, we're too shut down with this. So again, we need to balance it. And what's important to say with the parasympathetic nervous system is if we shut down and we're feeling very tired and very foggy, this isn't always a bad thing, because sometimes our body feels really achy and sore, but we actually need this in order to rest. It's actually better than running chronic activated response. And then the third state is what we all want, which is when we feel happy and connected and in the flow. And quite often towards the end of a yoga session, that's how you're going to feel. So before I start to explain the gunas to you, I'd like you just to close your eyes if you're comfortable closing your eyes. You might like to take your hand to your heart. And without any judgment, ask yourself, what is the state of my nervous system? Am I slightly stressed or maybe majorly stressed? Is there a slight flutter in my belly, for example? Slight running of anxious thoughts? Or am I feeling very tired and foggy and the need to rest? Or am I feeling fine? Am I feeling just happy and connected? And without any judgment, but using curiosity, just observe how you are. And see if you can bring a sense of acceptance and compassion to the state that you're in right now. And just while you sit or lie with your eyes closed, I'm now going to explain this Vedic system of the gunas, Gunas. So in Vedic philosophy and science, the gunas are referred to, and it's in my previous book if any of you have read it, but they are referred to as the three qualities or the three different types of energies. So when we're activated, when we're a little bit stressed, we call that rajas. So it's the guna of rajas. And it can be, you know, we can be quite hyper, we can be tired but wired. We can feel a bit as if we're a bit overstimulated. Now, none of the gunas are bad. So we do need some of this activation to get us going in the morning. Maybe if we're doing a bit of work or we need to do something, then we do need a bit of activation. But as with everything in yoga, it's about bringing it into balance. So that's Rajas. The other thing I want to say, because I think this is really important, so this bit do listen up for, when we are running a sympathetic, activated nervous system response, and so many of us are, it's very, very addictive. And quite often we can feel well because we've got adrenaline and cortisol running around our system and dopamine. So we keep going, we keep scrolling, we keep doing, we keep pushing through, and we find it very hard to stop. So I say this is important because it applies to everybody, including me. I had this last Monday after I'd finished teaching the class, just been recovering from COVID, and then I carried on working for another 3 hours and then thought, what on earth have I done? And then of course I crashed for 24 hours. So we need to be kind to ourselves if this happens, but we just need to realize this is addictive and we do need to stop before it goes too far. And you might like to just think to yourself, what are my triggers? What is it that makes me push through? Is it social media? Is it television? Is it screen time, the computer? Is it something I can reduce? I'm aware of talking that it can be tiring, so I apologize. I'm going to just not be quick because that's also tiring, but I'll just explain this a little further. So the second type of guna or energy is called tamas. And this is a darker, heavier energy. And this applies to when we might feel shut down, very sleepy, very depressed, for example. That would describe the energy of tamas. However, we do need some tamas. So we need it to sleep. We need it to rest. So again, it's about balance. We need a little bit of tamas. And when I do a yoga nidra, some of you might feel quite tamasic after the yoga nidra. You might feel quite heavy. But, you know, if that is balancing the chronic stress response, and that's a good thing because, again, it's all about balance. And then the final guna is called sattva. And this is a light, clear, connected energy. And my aim is to get you to feel this towards the end of a class or during a yoga session. And for many of us, that's why we need this kind of clear energy. For many of us, this is why we like yoga, because it helps to lead us to sattva. And next week, in fact, I'm going to be talking more about balance and how we can bring balance into our lives using yoga tools. And also, just to finish by saying that how we breathe can induce any of these states. So, for example, if we're breathing fast and hyperventilating, that will keep us chronically stressed. That will keep us chronically activated. If we're breathing really slowly, that can actually bring us into tamas. So again, we want to breathe healthily and balanced. This is also what I don't recommend Wim Hof breathing if you've got any or long COVID, because it's far too activating for us. So again, just ask yourself, what am I in? Am I rajasic and activated? Am I tamasic, slow, heavy, exhausted? Or am I sattvic? And if that doesn't apply to anything, then don't worry. There's no right or wrong here. So just noticing how you are emotionally, physically, mentally. And then we're going to introduce some sattvic breathing. So take one hand to the heart, the other to the belly. And just breathe into the hand that's on the belly, thinking of the breath as being slow and low. And if you can, breathe through the nose. If you're not ready for that yet, that's fine. But if you can, breathe through the nose. We're breathing a little lower down just to bring in the diaphragm. And then visualize that you're inhaling into the back of your ribs. And then we're going to take our hands and place them around our lower rib cage, fingers facing forward, thumbs around the back. We're going to breathe in to the hands just to expand the rib cage out slightly. And then we're going to just concertina the ribs slightly in by just squeezing the hands slightly together. Incidentally, although I know this is a yogic breath, this was given to me by an osteopath last week who was helping me in my I'm not going to say long COVID, it's helping me in my COVID recovery. So I've been using this just to help my energy, because energy is breath. Breath is prana. And then drop your hands to your knees. And then we're going to hum the breath out for 5 breaths. If that's too much for you, of course you can do fewer. So inhale through the nose, and in your own pitch, your own rhythm, just hum the breath out. Up to 5 times. And this has all kinds of healing effects on the body. When you finish, just sit or lie comfortably, feeling yourself becoming softer on every exhalation. And feel on your inhalation that you're breathing in a sense of safety and a sense of connection to everybody here in our practice. Breathing in safety and friendliness. Breathing out and softening. And then rub your hands together. Bring them again to your heart and just feel that you're welcoming yourself. You are here now. And then take your palms to your eyes and soften your eyes. Let the eyes relax. Drop the hands back. Relax your jaw, relax your shoulders. And then if you're sitting, just observe if your left or right sit bone is heavier. And then just slowly sway from side side. If you're lying, just observe if you're lying evenly on both sides, or if you're heavier on one side than the other. Observe this with curiosity, not judgment. And then from sitting, we're just going to sway gently from side to side, maybe with the eyes closed. Let your neck be free. So observe how the neck is moving. Let it relax. Let the jaw keep soft. And then we're going to start to circle from the pelvis as if we're stirring a pot. If you're lying, you can visualize this. Going one way, and then we go the other way. Come back to center, rest. And again, without judgment, just observe how the mind is, the body, the emotions. And see if you can observe the spaces now between the thoughts, or the space after the out breath, before the in breath naturally arises. And then we're just going to do a little bit of movement from sitting with the breath. If you're lying down, you can just take your roll your arm. Actually, no, you can point your fingers up towards the ceiling and then open them wide. So we're going to work with the arms. So I'm just going to demonstrate from sitting. I'm going to breathe in, letting everything flow and be soft. And then I'm going to chant the arms back. Remember, chanting is always optional. And I'm going to chant Om Sattva Namaha. Take an extra breath if you need to. You can do this from lying. Inhale. Om Sattva Namaha. Do that 2 or 3 times more in your own breathing rhythm, or rest out if you need to. And then just take some resting breaths, just allowing yourself to rest and restore. And then we're just going to do some very gentle shoulder rolls. You might remember me saying that if we are activated, if we're rajasic, we're in sympathetic nervous system, our shoulders tend to get tense, and then the breath moves up into the chest. So we want to just relax the shoulders and the neck, because this helps everything to be freer, so the breath can naturally move further down. And then relax the shoulders, feel the moving away from the ears. And then we just gently take one ear to one shoulder and center the head, other ear to the other shoulder, center the head, just a few times, feeling the neck stretching and opening and softening. And then when you're ready, and if you would like, please come down to lying. Remembering it's fine to remain sitting if you prefer. And remembering that you can lie in any way that's comfortable for you. So generally that would be on your back, starting with the knees bent. But if you need to lie on your front or on something more supported like a bed or a sofa, that's fine too. So just take a moment or two to transition, have something under your head to help the back of the neck lengthen. I suggest you start with the knees bent, feet hip width apart, and then have the arms a comfortable distance away from the body, and experiment with whether you want the palms up or down. And you might like to just look up at your belly button to see if you're straight. If you've got your knees bent, you can bring the knees together if you find that more restful. If you've already been resting and you want to stretch your legs out, you just do whatever feels right. But we usually start with the knees bent just to give the back a chance to unwind. So become aware of the weight of your head and the weight of your back, and feel that you are supported by the earth. Feel that the earth is holding you in an embrace. And then very gently roll the head from side to side. And then centering the head. Just explore, if you've come from sitting to lying, just make sure you've not tightened anything. Check the eyes and the jaw are relaxed. And feel on every exhalation that the shoulders are softening and softening. And you can either remain with your knees bent or you can begin to stretch out the legs, having the feet apart. Whatever feels comfortable for you. And then become aware again of the breath. We're going to take the hands to the belly with the middle fingers touching. And as we inhale, just feel those middle fingers space apart. And as you exhale, the middle fingers come back together. So we're breathing into the hands on the belly. And we're using the fingers as a kind of barometer just to see that we don't want to breathe too deep. We do want some movement from the diaphragm. And then we're going to chant 3 times, first to the belly, then to the heart, then to the eyes, if you would like. So we're going to start with the hands on the belly. We're going to chant in your own breathing rhythm, your own pitch, taking an extra breath if you need to. Om Sattva Namaha. So 3 times to each of those 3 chakras in your own breathing rhythm, if you would like. And when you've finished, please just relax your hands by your side, because then I can see. And then we're going to gather the knees in towards the belly. Might like to take one knee, then the other. You can hold on the knee or below the knee or under the knee. We're going to chant in a posture known as Apanasana, which I'm sure you're all very familiar with. It's very simple, but very, very effective for the back, particularly if we're not able to exercise too much. This just helps to keep everything mobile. But it's also known as Apanasana because it is the energy of letting go. So we're going to inhale and let the knees float away from us, so the elbows straighten. And then we chant the knees in. Om Sattva Namaha. Inhaling, straightening the elbows. Om Sattva Namaha. Just doing that a couple of times in your own breathing rhythm. And then I thought it'd be really nice to do a little bit of joint freeing this morning. Now, if you don't want to do this, you can just visualize the pair of joints that we're working on and breathe into them. So just start by crossing your right knee over your left. And then just circle that right ankle. If you're not sure, you can look at the screen, but hopefully my description is enough for you. We'll circle it one way and then the other. Circle the ankle slowly because we want to encourage everything to be slow and sattvic, not too rajasic. And then drop the right leg with the knee bent to the floor and cross the left leg over the right and repeat on this side. So circling the ankle slowly one way and then the other. And then drop that foot to the floor so you've got both feet on the floor with the knees bent. Just take some resting breaths and observe how the ankles are feeling. And then we're going to think about our knees. And again, if this is too much for you, you can just visualize this or breathe into the joint. So coming to the right knee, we're just going to breathe in and lift the right leg up. You don't have to lift it all the way, just softly. And then exhale and drop the right foot back to the floor. We do that to the left. Inhale, open the back of the knee. You don't have to lift all the way up. Exhale and lower. Now, please honor your energy levels. You might like to do this once or twice more on each side, but if you're very fatigued, it's much more important that you honor your body and you are compassionate and you don't push through. So just do what feels right for you. And again, just rest with the knees bent, observing how you're feeling. And then from here, we're going to do some very gentle pelvic tilts. So think of your pelvis like a bowl. We're going to move with the breath if we can. So we're going to breathe in. As we exhale, just take the navel towards the spine and slightly take the small of the back into your support. So the tailbone comes about 0.5 centimetre off your support. And then inhale and relax everything back down. So we're doing the movement on the exhalation, navel to spine, small of the back into your support, and then relax down. Just do this a few times just to help mobilize the pelvis. And then relax down. And if you've got anything under your head, just take it away now. We're going to do a bridge posture just to mobilize all of the spine. But again, if this is too much for you, just visualize it and rest out. So for this posture, have the feet about hip width apart, heels coming into the buttocks, and have the hands down beside your hips. And just take a moment or two to observe the feeling in your hands and your feet. And just feel your back and your head on your support. And then breathing in very gently, pressing into the hands and feet. Just gently lift the tailbone to come up towards the shoulders. It doesn't have to be a big lift. Be very gentle. And then on an exhalation, come down. And if that's enough for you, rest out. Otherwise, you might like to do it once or twice more, but as always, honor your energy. Don't do anything that is going to be too much. And then when you finish, just take one knee, then the other, and rock out the spine from side to side. And then come back into the relaxation posture, Shavasana. So either lying with the knees still bent or legs straight and wide apart, palms away from the body and up towards the ceiling. Maybe the eyes are closed. And just allow the awareness to drift around the back and observe how you're feeling now. Just allowing the mind to quieten. And then I'm going to invite you to get ready for our deep relaxation. Everybody's favorite bit. So please put on any warmer clothes that you need because the temperature of the body tends to drop when we're relaxing deeply. You can use eye masks, extra socks, cushions, blankets, and of course you can lie on a bed or on a sofa. Just make yourself comfortable and cozy. And today we're going to be doing another, it's called eye rest, but it's like a yoga nidra from Richard Miller's. It's a program for healing PTSD, but it's just brilliant for all kinds of fatigue conditions. So we're going to be doing one of those. I'm going to turn my camera off now and I'll turn it back on when we come out of the relaxation. So just settle yourself down, making any final adjustments you need to. And before we start, a couple of things. If you have an intention or a sankalpa, just think about something in the present moment that you use as your intention for a relaxation practice. So it might be something like health and energy flow through me, or I am peaceful. And also, if you have an idea of a safe resource, something, picture in your mind's eye of a friend, a relative, an animal, a safe space, just know that you can bring your awareness back to this safe resource if you need to at any time during the practice. So just start by releasing any unnecessary tension in your jaw, shoulders, arms, torso, legs, your entire body and mind settling into a feeling of rest and ease. During this relaxation, just welcome any experience you have as a messenger that's here to help you experience health, healing, and well-being in all levels of body, mind, and spirit. Welcome any messenger with curiosity and acceptance. So start by allowing your senses to be open to your environment and sounds around you. Welcome the feeling of air touching your skin, the sensations where your body touches the surface that's supporting it, and a feeling of letting go and being at ease throughout your entire body and mind. Silently affirm to yourself, I am a unique and valued expression of life. Life is living me with purpose and meaning. See if you can experience this as true with your entire body and mind. And now, if you have an intention, bring that to mind. Feel and affirm your intention 3 times silently to yourself with your entire body and mind. And now bring attention to your safe resource, place within your body where you experience a felt sense of well-being, or it might be a place, person, or experience that supports you to feel secure and at ease. Just imagine sounds, sights, sensations, smells, and tastes that invite ease and well-being into your entire body and mind. Know that you can return to your inner resource at any time, day or night. Whenever you feel a need, take a momentary time out to rest and to feel secure and at ease. Rotate your attention now throughout your body while experiencing and welcoming sensations. Become aware of your jaw, your mouth, teeth, lips, and gums, tongue, the entire inside of your mouth, the entire jaw and mouth as sensation. Give up thinking and simply welcome sensation in your jaw and mouth. Become aware of your left ear, right ear. Welcoming both ears at the same time as sensation. Sense your left nostril, right nostril, the flow of air and sensation inside both nostrils. Feel the sensation of the left eye, eyebrow, temple, cheekbone, entire left eye, right eye, eyebrow, temple, cheekbone, the entire right eye. And now welcome both eyes at the same time as sensation. Without thinking, just feeling the sensation of the forehead, scalp, back of the head, neck, entire face, head, and neck as sensation. Sense your left shoulder, left upper arm, forearm, wrist, palm and fingers. The sensation of the entire left arm and hands, right shoulder, right upper arm, forearm, wrist, palm and fingers. The sensation of the entire right arm and hands, welcoming both arms and hands at the same time as radiant sensation. Become aware of your upper chest, mid-chest, belly. The sensation of the upper back, mid-back, lower back, the entire back, entire front, entire torso, front and back, inside and outside, a shimmering sensation. Now bring your awareness into the pelvis, left hip, left upper arm, knee, lower leg, ankle and foot. The sensation of the entire left foot, leg and hip. Be attentive yet relaxed and at ease, sensing now the right hip, right upper leg, knee, lower leg, ankle and foot. The sensation of the entire right foot, leg and hip. Welcome both hips, legs and feet all together as radiant sensation. Welcome the entire front of the body, a field of sensation. Back of the body, left side of the body, right side, inside the body, outside the body, the skin as your safe container, the entire body as shimmering sensation. Note how you're the observer, watching all of these sensations coming and going, everything just as it is. Feel yourself being non-judging awareness in which all of these sensations are coming and going. Silently say to yourself, my body is deeply at rest, but I am aware, I am at ease. Sense the body breathing itself and the natural flow of sensation as the breath enters and leaves the nostrils. The gentle rise and fall of the abdomen as you breathe. Now begin counting from 1 to 11 while sensing your belly slightly expanding and then releasing with each and every breath, like this. Inhaling, belly expanding 1. Exhaling, belly releasing 1. Inhaling, belly expanding 2. Exhaling, belly releasing 2, and so on. With each count, tension releasing throughout your entire body. Continue counting on your own. During each exhalation, feel a deep release of tension throughout your body. Sensing and releasing, welcoming deep relaxation throughout your body. When you come to 11, or if you lose count, begin again at 1. Long, smooth exhalation, tension releasing throughout the entire body, jaw, ears, eyes, forehead, scalp, shoulders, belly, legs. Tension releasing throughout the whole body, the body breathing itself. Now allow the counting to fall away, but remain attentive to the flows of sensation throughout the body, sensing the body as a field of shimmering sensation. Sense how you are the observer of all that's now present in your awareness, aware of all that's present, sensations, thoughts, images. Now bring your attention to sensations of well-being or joy in your body, or recall a memory of a particular person, animal, place, or circumstance that invites joy or well-being into your body. Experience the feeling of well-being, joy, expanding throughout your entire body. Every cell in your body welcoming its natural sense of joy and well-being. Perhaps experience an inner smile coming from your heart throughout your entire body. Your lips gently smiling, joy, well-being, or an inner smile flowing throughout your body, face, torso, arms and legs, your entire body alive with a feeling of well-being and joy. Now set aside thinking and memory and settle into simply being. Nothing to do, nowhere to be, just the delightful feeling of being and resting. Notice how you're aware of being an observer of this feeling of being and everything you experience, and allow yourself to dissolve into being observing, being awareness, all sense of separation dissolving. Be awareness in which everything is arising. Sense how all your thoughts, emotions, sensations, even sounds are simply movement in awareness, coming and going. Feel yourself a spacious openness of awareness. How you're undeniably present and everywhere. And just rest here, being awareness, feeling your non-separate wholeness with all of life, aware, at ease, everything just as it is. Connected to yourself, the world around you, the community here, and just continue to rest. Take a few moments now to welcome a feeling of gratitude for taking this time to experience your wholeness and healing, and for taking time for practicing deep rest. If you wish to remain resting, please do so. Otherwise, just start by becoming aware of the weight of your body and how you are lying on your support. Become aware of the natural breathing. And become aware of any sounds you can hear outside your space, or any sounds near to you. And when you're ready, just begin to move your fingers and your toes gently. And just move or stretch in any way that feels right for you. When you're ready, just roll to one side and stay there for a moment or two. And taking as much time as you need. When you're ready, please come up to a comfortable seated position. And then just give yourself time to wake up even after we finished our session. Rub your hands together, palm your eyes, and dropping your hands, just look around your space and feel yourself, bring your awareness back into your body. Feel your hips on your support, feel your connection with your space. And I'd just like to talk a little bit more about the gunas. If you remember, we've got rajas, activity, tamas, heaviness, dullness, and sattva is the pure, clear light. And I said they all need to be in balance, although we're kind of aiming for sattva. Now, when we do a deep relaxation, that's often quite tamasic, but it brings in the parasympathetic nervous system. It should, we hope, take us out of activation. And that's a healing state. That's where healing can happen. But quite often it might make us feel a bit, dull and fatigued, and it takes more time to wake up. But when we understand the guna model, we can kind of play about with it a bit. So if we're very activated and rajasic, then we think, right, I need to bring something tamasic in order to bring me down. We can do this with yoga. We can do it with yoga breathing. We can also do it with food. And likewise, if we're very heavy and disassociated and sleepy, of course, what we tend to do these days, we use coffee or sugar, which are not actually ideal, but they give the example of how we can bring ourselves back. But the idea is that at the end of our yoga session, hopefully, you're feeling more sattvic. So I'd like to invite you now to just close your eyes and observe how you are feeling. Rajasic, tamasic, sattvic, and however you're feeling is fine. There's no judgment. It's just helping you to begin to observe these three states, whether we use the yoga model or whether we use the scientific model. And then when you're ready, open your eyes. And I'd just like to, before I close the session, say, I'm sure that I will get my database up and running, but please keep the Zoom link that you used today for next week. Cut and paste it somewhere just in case, but I'm sure it will be fine. But I wish you a very sattvic week ahead. I hope that you are able to feel calm, clear, and peaceful as much as possible. Remember to stay with your breathing, to stay in your body, and to stay present. So thank you all very much. Namaste. Thank you. Lots of love to you all.